Japanese Minister of Finance Shunichi Suzuki, who visited Sri Lanka last evening for an official visit, called on President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Presidential Secretariat. During discussions, the Japanese Finance Minister highlighted significant improvements made by Sri Lanka's economy, including positive trends in GDP and inflation indicators. Further, talks encompassed future collaborations, emphasizing areas such as information technology cooperation, maritime security collaboration, resumption of stalled projects, long-term bilateral cooperation, finalization of debt restructuring agreements, and pipeline projects.
Let me thank your Prime Minister and yourself for all the help that has been given to Sri Lanka. Without your help of Japan, I don't think we would have been able to be in this position today. Sri Lanka. We are also now committed not merely to restructure the debt and for stabilization, but we realize that Sri Lanka needs a new economy, an economy that is competitive, an economy that is a green economy, it's a digital economy, and an economy that is export oriented so that we can have the balance of trade in favor of our country. We are looking at concluding the debt restructuring, if possible, within about this quarter. We are also making every effort to conclude the MOUs as soon as possible. As far as the Japanese bilateral economic relations are concerned, we have to look at the existing yen loans, and we can provide a schedule of how outstanding payments are to be made. While we are dealing with debt reconstruction, whether parallelly we can start talks on the yen loans and the future program. I also agree, let's first finalize the outstanding payments and the ongoing projects. Then you can look at new projects.
I am very much impressed that your economy has improved quite significantly. I have been looking at the Sri Lankan economic indicators, looking at GDP, looking at inflation number coming down quite significantly. I realize that there has been a significant improvement in your economic situation. So I believe this is due to your strong leadership, and I have much respect for the leadership that you have demonstrated. I fully understand the projects that you have mentioned, LRT, Central Highway, Kandy, urban development, and so forth. As I've said earlier on, basic stance is that we need to resume the existing projects first, and we also need to resolve the outstanding payment issue before we move on to new projects. But we will continue to closely communicate with your government on some of the specific requests that you mentioned. With regards to the debt restructuring, I am pleased that although it has been a difficult process, an agreement in principle was reached within a short period of time, about half a year since the launch of the Official Creditors Committee. Meanwhile, the process ahead will be crucial, including our upcoming consultations on the MOU. Well, one thing I would like to emphasize is that we need Sri Lanka to reach a prompt agreement with creditors outside the OCC, such as with China and with private creditors on comparative restructuring terms and conditions.
Meanwhile, the Japanese finance minister met with opposition leader Sajith Premadasa at the opposition leader's office. During the meeting, the opposition leader offered his regrets at the abrupt cancellation of the Colombo Light Rail project by the former government led by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. He assured that a government under his party would strive to restart the project.